And so what's in my subconscious is this Queen of Swords reversed, right? And so then that's saying, okay, well, in my subconscious, there's this powerful woman, Queen of Swords, and quite often, Queen of Swords are usually divorced women or women that are alone, right? And it's because of a principle that they fought for. That's why they're alone, right? And then sometimes they're also ruling over, you know, their household and that, you know, with a strong fist because they've been hurt or damaged, you know, in life. But a Queen of Swords, when it's reversed, is talking about a woman that kind of does things, you know, for just to be cruel in a way. And so it's really kind of sad when this is in the subconscious and we have this Queen of Swords, and then we go back, you know, and we look at the other swords that are connected. And so we say, hey, we have this feeling of being used by somebody that was maybe dishonest, and they hurt me, you know, and this could have been years ago. And so then that's like a challenge that I have to overcome, right? And the basis for that is this Queen of Swords, that it's like a queen that's powerful, but she's unrepentant for how cruel she's had to be, right? And so, you know, I kind of think of it, you know, as maybe a woman in my past, right? But she has to have power being a Queen of Swords and probably an air sign. And she makes her decisions based on principle. And in this case, she's kind of a queen of cruelty, where she's gone too far. And unrepentant, meaning that she can't see, you know, what she's done and the damage that it's done, because it's just not within her to even recognize that. So that's in the in my subconscious, right? And so this pillar is kind of in time. This is kind of where I'm at right now. Right here, I'm intersecting past, this is present, and then future. So then the next card, we go into the past, but this past card is basically just an influence that's coming with us into the present, okay? And in the past, it's the Strength card, right? A major arcana, spiritual lesson that's happened in the past, but it's flowing into the Chariot, you know, into the present, because it's still affecting me, right? The spiritual lesson that maybe I didn't learn all the way. But what's interesting is Strength reversed is someone who really couldn't find balance, and they couldn't find that kind of like a spiritual higher purpose in their struggle, right? So usually when Strength is reversed, it means maybe a lack of will, a lack of determination, a lack of faith, you know, that their will, you know, could prevail, right? It's also, Strength is another one of those cards that's talking about balance, and it's basically a balance of the spirit or the higher self, finding that balance with the very physical and material and sexual self, right? And that's the idea of the woman taming the lion, is you're taming your material self, right? And any, you know, it's not so much the devil as far as addictions, but it is, you know, that heavier side of yourself that you're trying to tame. And that can be anger as well, right? So what it's saying is, in the past, I wasn't strong enough. I couldn't find my strength. I couldn't find my balance. And, you know, and then that affected, you know, the present. And, you know, when we look at this sacred wound that happened with this Queen of Swords reversed, it could be that basically I wasn't strong enough and I wasn't balanced enough to really understand, you know, what happened with the situation. And I could have almost allowed that situation to happen because I didn't have my own strength, right? So then we go back into the future, and this is kind of a future card that happens fairly quickly. And, you know, it's saying over 10 months, this idea of 10 of Pentacles. And, you know, we have 7 months up here, kind of in the present, 7 months that I've been focused on doing something that I've been investing in, but it's not really paying off. But it's saying in the 10 months, you know, and you could say, well, this could be the the 3 more months, because they're related, you know, these cards, they kind of flow together. Then it's saying, you know, over 10 months, there's this idea of wealth within the family, just by the family being together, and, you know, family taking care of one another. And, you know, this picture really kind of shows that. The family, the younger generation, taking care of the grandfather, and then the new baby, the grandbaby, and they're all living together. So isn't that interesting? Because, you know, I'm taking care of my elderly parents, and some people kind of think that maybe that's a waste of my time, that they should go into a care center and that I should have freedom, right? But this is saying, well, great wealth is building up because of that, because I've, you know, family is sticking together and they're helping each other out. And then that's coming into the near future, right? So that's where we got the past, the future, and the present going on, and my intention. And then with this obstacle, this 7 of Swords, where I felt kind of betrayed or something was stolen from me, right? And then that's kind of like a stumbling block, that I still have that feeling inside that, oh, is somebody else going to do that to me? What's going to happen? Even though it was just maybe just this one person, or this person that I've kind of vilified or made into a monster, right? Maybe thinking that everybody's like that, but you know, then we go into the outcome, which is kind of like the outcome of the formula of my intent being put into past and present and future, and then it kind of gives you an outcome. Okay, so the outcome's another reverse card, the six of Swords. Okay, so then again, it's connected to this feeling and this sacred wound that I've been carrying around in my subconscious, right? And it's saying that, you know, in basically the answer is a 6 of Swords, and normally when that's upright, it's receiving help from someone, right? But in this case, it's saying you're not going to receive help with that fight, or with that principle, with assistance, right? You're not going to receive that. It's going to come too late. And so, you know, it's like watching, you know, looking at CNN, the news, and there's that steelworks in Mariupol that's being attacked by the Russians, and there's civilians there. And they've been hiding out there for a couple months now, and nobody's able to go in and really help them and save them, right? And so that's where I wish, you know, like someone from NATO would just go in there and take those people out, you know, get them out. Somebody from the UN, somebody needs to go in and help those people, but it's not going to happen. And those people are probably going to die, the ones that are left there. So it's one, help comes too late in the siege situation, right? And then that's what this is saying, is that's kind of what's happening, is help is not going to come, you know, for that situation. So it's basically like accepting the situation for what it is, that, you know, yeah, the betrayal happened and it was this dark thing. And you know what? I really can't save the situation anymore. I have to just accept that, right? And, you know, it is kind of interesting, you know, when I look into it, like 7 years or 6 years ago, you know, and the timing of that. And then, you know, there's a couple more cards that are like descriptive cards. And this next card is what strengthens me. And so it's basically, you know, my higher self is saying, well, this strengthens you. And that's a 4 of Pentacles reverse. And that's basically, you know, I've had times in my life where I've been homeless, where I've had absolutely no money, right? And so it's saying that, you know, that kind of stubbornness and that, you know, being kind of used to having no money is actually going to really help me out with my finances. Because normally the 4 of Pentacles is somebody just being really conservative and with what they have, you know, and careful. When it's reversed, it means that they're being miserly, right? So in a way, it's saying, you know, what strengthens me is actually, you know, kind of knowing what it's like to not have any money, not have money, not, you know, to be homeless, and what that feels like, right? So even though I do have some wealth going on, this actually strengthens me, this idea, or this, what I've gone through in the past, right? And so, you know, this next card, that's over the next 4 months, right? And so then this next card is basically how people see me, right? So this might be how people see me on Facebook or people around me, right? How they see me. And there's an 8 of Swords, right? And so what's interesting is, again, they're all connected, these swords. So an eight of Swords is somebody that, from their own kind of, their own ideas and their own principles that have come out of, you know, betrayal, sacred wounds, not being helped, not receiving any help when I needed it. This 8 of Swords just kind of shows that now I'm kind of restricting myself. You know, I have my own kind of doubts and my own sacred wounds, and in a way they're kind of trapping me from being free or moving on, right? So an 8 of Swords is basically the blindfolded person doesn't understand. They think that there are 8 opponents surrounding them, each holding a sword. But what it is the swords are there, but nobody's really holding them against you. And so it's all just in your mind. It's all negativity. And so when you take the blindfold off, then you realize, oh, wait a minute, these are all swords that are just stuck in the ground that I can easily pull out to free myself, right? So it's basically saying that this is kind of describing me to other people. And so other people, they probably see me as somebody who's gone through this stuff in the past, and I'm still bitter, but I'm trapped by that bitterness. And it's hard for me to be happy or move past that.